Hello everyone. So the next topic which we will be going to discuss is about the active transport. So let's start with the introduction and the definition of the active transport. So what is active transport? Active transport is basically defined as a process that involves the movement of molecules from a region of a lower concentration to a region of a higher concentration against a gradient or an obstacle with the use of external energy. So here you can see this is the image showing the active transport. So the gradient, the molecules, they are moving from the concentration of lower concentration to a concentration of higher concentration. And the external energy, for example, ATP is the external energy which is being required here. So this is the diagrammatic representation of how the active transport process takes place. Next is, what is the definition of active transport? So active transport is a kind of cellular transport where the molecules, they move from a against a concentration gradient. So they move from a lower concentration towards a higher concentration. So this process will requires the expenditure of energy and assistance of membrane proteins such as the carrier protein. So we will be discussing this. So as I have already told, that it is a type of cellular transport in which the substances, what are the substances? These can be ions, these can be glucose, or these can be amino acids, and they are transported across a biological membrane towards the region that already contains a lot of such substances. So they contains lot of such substances. So active transport use the chemical energy. It was also shown in the diagram that it uses the ATP as a chemical energy to move such substances against their concentration gradient. So the common site of active transport are root hairs and the walls of small intestine. So these are the examples of active transport. Then there are two kinds of active transport, that is primary and secondary. So we will discuss in details of these. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the active transport of primary active transport. So the energy which is from the hydrolyzing ATP is directly coupled to the movement of the sodium ions across a biological membrane. So this is a cell membrane which is being depicted here. So this is a cell membrane which is being depicted here. This is the extracellular space and this is the intracellular space. So there are some potassium ions and there are some sodium ions also. So here is the energy which has been shown also. So the active transport of the primary transport is what? When the energy from the hydrolyzing ATP is coupled to the movement of sodium ion. So they are coupling to the movement of sodium ion across a biological membrane. So this is what the diagram of primary active transport has been shown. We will discuss all this diagram in the next slide. So what is primary active transport? It is the one that uses the chemical energy in the form of ATP. So we will discuss the secondary in the next slide itself. First we will discuss the primary in this. So primary transport, there is a direct coupling of energy such as ATP. The substances, they move in primary active transport such as Na plus, that is sodium plus, Ka plus, that is potassium plus, Mg2 plus, that is magnesium, and Ca2 plus, that is calcium. So an example of the active transport. So what is the example of this primary active transport? It is involving the sodium potassium pump. So it is a transport system in a biological membrane where 3 Na ions are taken out while 2 K plus ions, that is potassium ions, are taken into the cell against their respective concentration gradient. So this is what the primary active transport is talking about. So next we will discuss the secondary active transport. So what is happening is, in this diagram which has been showing the secondary active transport, that there are three kinds basically: unipolar, synporter and antiporter. So what are these? So first of all, we will discuss what is secondary active transport. So it is the one where the substrate moves down its concentration gradient while the other moves against the concentration gradient. So this is what is about the secondary active transport. Then there are two types of transporters that are employed. Symporters, when the direction or the movement of the substrate are the same. So symporter is when the direction of the two substrates are the same. And antiporter, so in this they are showing the arrow in the below direction, that means both these are in the same direction, and in the antiporter that is in the opposite direction. So the two substrates are in the opposite direction. Uniport is only in the one direction. So there is a one arrow which has been showing that only one substrate has been moving in the one direction. But here two substrates are in the opposite direction, that is antiporter. And when the two substrates are in the same direction, that is synporter. Then secondary active transport is what about secondary active transport? It is when there is no direct ATP coupling. If we compare this with the primary active transport, then there was a coupling of ATP and the ATP was involved as an external chemical energy. But in this, there is no direct ATP coupling. Rather, the transport is powered by the energy from the electrochemical potential differences as the ions are pumped into and out of the cell. So this is what is secondary active transport. So in secondary active transport, one ion is allowed to move down to the electrochemical gradient. So as in the previous slide, it was shown that in the diagram also that there was uniporter, symporter and antiporter. So the ions were moved down in the electrochemical gradient, which increase the entropy. Entropy means entropy is the form of energy only, so that can be used as a source of energy. For example, Na plus ions moving down by the electrochemical gradient across the plasma membrane powers up the transport of a second ion against its gradient, that is H plus ions. So secondary transport, active transport is also called the coupled transport or the co-transport. So this is all about the secondary active transport. Then what is the biological importance of the active transport? So active transport is very essential in the multifarious biological processes. It is employed in many biochemical pathways. For example, there is a proton gradient generation in chloroplast, and there is a chemosynthesis in the mitochondria. So it is all about the biological importance, that where these active transports are being used. For example, they are also used in plants as a ABC transporter. This is the PHABCG1. This is responsible for the active transport of volatile organic compounds across the plasma membrane. So in plants, the active transport is used as a volatile organic compound across the plasma membrane. So this is vital for the plants, since volatile organic compounds entice pollinators and seed dispersal organisms. So plants also use ABC transporters, particularly NT-PDR1, to actively transport the antimicrobial metabolites. So they are used in the ABC transporters. So mainly it is used in the plants. So plants also employ the active transport when they absorb the nutrients, for example chlorine and nitrates, from the soil into the vacuoles. In humans and animals, active transport is employed in many metabolic activities, such for example just the glucose absorption. So all this was about the active transport and its biological importance. These are some of the